Garber. Here. Randall Blaylock.
Here?
Steve Williamson.
Here.
John Heflin.
Here.
Karen Sayers.
Here.
John Schaefer.
Here.
All right, then just go ahead and get started. I will say, I went over, me and Fran both went over the fire department's budget with Chief Perry. He's under the weather, so he couldn't make it tonight. But we should have everybody else, so.
Is he good with it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and start with the parks. So, starting under parks, according to this year's budget, we're still substantially under building maintenance. I believe that we would be just fine dropping that 25,000. The other that you'll see is equipment maintenance. We kept that under as well, so we're dropping that down to 5,000. And then the fixed assets, Fran, where are we at for fixed assets this year?
What we got left?
Yeah. I think that's what we balanced off that as well. We got 10,000 left still? Okay, so I dropped that down by half, since we're not fulfilling that. Fuel expense stays pretty solid. The health insurance, Kyle is only on vision and dental, so that's why that's such a low number there. He doesn't have the full choice. And then the retirement will just be Kyle's, so I've calculated that up to 4118. I rounded most of the retirements up just so we stay in line with it. Kept utilities the same, we're pretty on track to stay there, actually a little bit under, so I just kept it at 13. Vehicle maintenance, 3,000, it's done perfectly fine. One thing I wanted to point out, we actually got the numbers back from Municipal League today for workman's comp, so we're actually a little bit over, so I'll change that. It's at 1,500, but we will actually be at 1,100 for that. The park upgrades, I dropped it down to 30. I do have a plan to hopefully do some park equipment improvements, and then also hopefully we can stay on track to get a pickleball court or a basketball court at the park in 2026. Vehicle insurance staying, Social Security staying. So the expense for the salaries,
The Social Security didn't stay.
I'm sorry?
The Social Security went up from 0.
Okay, yeah, Social Security up to 1,000. Kyle was under the street department.
Okay.
So I added him back into the parks. So the salary expense, I gave Kyle a little cost of living increase. And then I actually, if it's good with the council, I think that we never keep really a part-time employee for the parks year round. It's mostly busy season, so 3 to 4 months out of the year. But I dropped that hourly wage down to like $12 an hour. I just felt like 14 was excessive, so if the council is good with the parks.
That was part-time?
Yes, sir. I think most time we're gonna look at probably, it'd be a high schooler on a summer break, so I figured that would be just perfectly fair for them.
They just do things like mowing and
Mowing, weeding, that's pretty much it, trash.
Kyle is really more
Yeah.
responsible.
Yes. So, as well, this year, so as well this year for each budget besides the fire department, I tried to do a breakdown of the monthly. So in January and July, you'll notice that it's a little bit higher. That's because we have 3 pay periods in those 2 months. So we pay 26 weeks out of the year, and out of those 2 months, we'll have 3 pay periods for each month. So I broke that down, and like I had discussed, Kyle has already got medical insurance, so he's not on that choice, just vision and dental. Any questions on parks?
What's APRS?
What's that? Oh, he's. Good.
Are any of these lines go into like a growing savings or anything?
Yes.
Which
What-
one?
For like growing,
Say, building maintenance, $25,000. If we only spend $20,000 of that, does that $5,000 roll over to next year and grow, or
no,
are we building a,
I hope to start doing that this year, but not right now, as of current, no, that hasn't been.
Do we have-
the case.
so I don't ask this question on every category. Do we have any accounts doing that? Okay.
I think the only one would be the water, which was the CDs. For the 80,000 that was budgeted, we have two CDs. One's at 62,000, one's at 32,000. Which, that was from Jerry Williams, Jerry Big Ball. So that was a long time ago. So, but as far as any of the other ones goes, no, it's not been the case.
Is that something that's doable in the future to
I
have
think-
a,
I think for certain purposes, I think it is.
like an asset line item
Yeah,
or something
I
so you
think,
can grow?
sorry,
Oh, you're fine.
I think for like our building maintenance, stuff that we don't hit that, I think that that's very much, I think we can definitely do it. Which I've already started with the emergency building fund and the general.
Which, if you do it that way, you can start growing a larger fund for larger expenses, you know, and you're not just trying to do it off of a shoestring budget.
Right. Alright. Moving on to our police budget. Try to hit the highlights here. Property insurance, car, that's increased 1,000 Medicare, 1,000. The judge, okay, Chief Pritchard, do you remember the act off the top of your head? There's a new Arkansas Act that come out this year to where cities no longer responsible for paying the judge. That's directly from the state. So we'll just pay Jacob from this point forward. Tabby will be up here in a little bit. And she's really,
Huh?
she's educated on it, but like you'll see on the general, there's an
We don't
AOJ
know what
fund,
he's saying.
the law library fund. This is all part of
No, we
the new
certainly
act.
take it.
So basically, we're not paying the judge, but we're finding another way to pay the judge.
With the
That's-
law
Yeah,
library.
exactly. So,
Cause that was
Yes.
12 or 1,500?
yeah, it's like 248 every month or something.
Okay.
So it's basically a breakup of some of the bond payments. They just reworded stuff, so we have to make new line items, new funds for this stuff. Okay, updated, which we talked about 2 council meetings ago about the IT license fee. The police departments went up by 1,100, which we plan to pay, I think we discussed in January or February next year.
Now, does any of that go to that, what was it we were talking about, needing servers?
Yes, yes. No, okay, no, my
That's
bad, I'm
separate.
sorry, yes, that's separate, that's
Okay.
separate. This is just our annual,
Okay.
yeah, our annual license fee. Moving to, I'm gonna drop down to the fuel, we pulled from this year, and we were actually, Frank, can you tell us where we're at on the fuel for police vehicles?
You're at $16,936.
So we shaved quite a bit off of that.
You're saying 16,000 year to date?
Yes,
That we've used or have left?
You have left.
we have left, my
Have
bad.
left,
Yeah.
okay.
And, I mean, with a portion of that, we were short how many officers for half the year? 2. So, I mean, we had a pretty. We went a whole year without one of them. Right. So I tried to at least average it out. Let's see.
And the health insurance?
Health insurance, yes, I done, the line by line each month, and that's where I come up with the 57, so our actual drop for what we budgeted last year, this will be more.
So we just didn't
It wasn't,
budgeted as close as, okay.
right.
Nothing, it sounds like, if y'all find insurance that went down, I wanna know where it,
Yes, yeah.
Where it was.
Because it's just going up.
Yeah.
Tabby, can you tell us about the act real quick, because we were
as soon as you walk in the door.
I'm
it's there.
sorry. I was at 6. Are you talking about the AOJ fund?
Well, we're talking about the judge, so I guess it ties into that as well. The judge's salary not being paid out. of
The
police.
judge's salary, the state, they're now state employees. So the cities no longer have to contribute toward their salaries per year.
Right. And I was telling them with the AOJ and all of that, that we basically just redistributed it in a different way.
Really, I'm shocked, but it's really going to, because the AOJ, what we send, that's for court costs. And before, we had to send the majority of the court costs to the state. It was broken down by criminal, traffic, ordinance, that type of allotment. Now, the administrative, finance, they're letting it's a 50-50. So we keep 50%, we send 50% to the state, and then out of our 50%, we pay the law library. And cities of first class are supposed to have an AOJ fund for this to go into. That way, we have something to take that law library fee out of.
The AOJ is just strictly used for specific, like lot fee, retirement.
Yeah, and I have the list here of what, Kristen Clark is the staff attorney for the AOC, the administrative office of the courts. And so whenever I reached out to her about the AOJ fund, do we need that because we've always done the general fund? That's for the fines. The fines still go into the general fund. But this court cost, because it's increased, that's why we need to start the AOJ fund for that. And she, listed things that we can use that money for. And one is for the judge and the clerk's retirement, the police and fire pension fund. Like if the chief needs some intoxication detection equipment, we can have that out of there. Filing fees, the part that goes to the county, the law library, cost sharing agreements and operations of district court. If we had to hire somebody to do something for district court, we could help pay for that. And operating costs of district court. So those are the things that we can have that.
So is the new way of figuring it costing us more than it was when we just paid for the judge?
We're saving.
We're saving.
Yeah, a lot,
Yeah.
actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thought so, but I didn't know if there was something I was missing.
Yeah, well, yeah, because before, what we kept from that was 194.35. We had a uniform straight amount. And now, it will always vary because the court costs will vary, but it's gonna be anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 a month.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabby. All right, and once again, on the workman's comp, I'm gonna correct that. It will actually, I'm gonna just keep us at 65 because we got it today. And all these numbers, as long as we pay before February 1st, the police workman comp will be 64,28,16. So I'll just leave that at 65. Okay, so the petty cash, just a heads up for next council meeting, we'll be doing, is it an ordinance or a resolution?
Resolution.
Okay, we have to do a resolution for the police department to have that line item for the petty cash. So we'll be presenting that next Monday to get that done. That was something we got back from leg audit. Holiday pay, kind of try to base that off of what I'm presenting for the new salary expense. Me and Chief Richard worked together and tried to come up with some sort of, most agencies across the state do a STEP program. Go ahead.
All but one.
All but one.
Yeah, I don't have monthlies on there, correct.
46, what was his, 47?
47, 840 is what it should have been.
47, 8.
Say that one more time, Chief.
47,
specifically, the biggest jump that you'll see other than, just the cost of living for the most part is gonna be Sergeant Huffman and Sergeant Hardy. Both these officers are FTOs and have substantial more responsibilities, but I also didn't wanna jump them too much in case that they become a lieutenant or captain. So still give them some initiative. I think me and Chief, do you have yours, Chief?
It's 10, 11%.
I am. I misplaced mine. So what did we say for, we're proposing 2550?
2550 for Huffman and Hardy.
Yeah. And then lieutenant and captain, we proposed $1.50 raise from there, which I think that we discussed having one brass, like one officer, one sergeant. So we're not gonna have a captain, lieutenant, and a sergeant. We'll have lieutenant or a captain and a sergeant on the police force. So we're not gonna look at $27 for Huffman and Hardy in a year. One of them will get promoted, as long as we retain them. Any feedback on the raises for the police officers? It really makes us more compatible with surrounding agencies is the big thing.
What's the, almost 8% for Johnson?
I'm sorry, what is it?
I said, why is the Johnson guy getting like an 8% raise?
He's on his probationary period
Okay.
still, so he just graduated the academy 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So-
He just went on his, he's only been on his, actually solo on his own out of FTO for a week and a half. Yeah.
Okay,
So they get a pretty decent bump after FTO. And
so
then,
just the timing of that.
yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
So what he's at is like the
That's their
basic-
starting
The
point.
starting point.
Yeah. That's what we started them at, sent them to the academy at, through
Send them to
FTO.
the academy at 19 an hour. Then when they complete the FTO program itself, then they would go to, currently as it says right now, where we have the salary set, he would go to, just went to $20 an hour. So he gets $1 raise after the completion of the academy. Once we see that he's gonna be able to function on his own, then we'll kick in the rest of that money.
Where are we at as far as competitiveness with other cities around us?
I'm sorry?
How competitive are we at this point with other cities
Where we
around us?
sit right now,
For
we are very
26.
competitive with everybody else right now. So unless they bump theirs up again, then, we're gonna be fairly close to them. And of course, some of them we can't get close to because they're so much bigger than we are, but,
But our 2026 salaries, are they competitive with what the others are now? Or is our 2025 competitive to 2025 and then?
I have what their current is now. I won't have their, what they're gonna raise to, of course.
Yeah.
But, what they have currently right now, 2025, I have pretty much everybody. I've got Marlton, Clarksville, Polk County Sheriff's Department, Dardanelle City, Russellville PD, Arkansas Tech, things like that. The ones that we have to compete with is going to be the Sheriff's Department, Russellville PD, Marlton PD or Conway County Sheriff's Office, and Clarksville City.
And our 2025 right now are comparable to what you have from them?
Yes.
So we need to give them some, oh, yeah.
Yeah, 26 will actually get us compared to
Hopefully
25.
to what theirs,
Yeah.
what
Because I think, let's see, Polk County, they're at like 58, 59 for a sergeant. Russellville, of course, but it makes us very compatible with surrounding agencies.
But you have to consider too, and what I'm considering here is also, we have an added benefit if they have a take-home vehicle, which we pay for the fuel. So, naturally, you've got some agencies like the sheriff's departments, but Russell PD doesn't have that. So,
This covers all the purchases you foresee coming this year in this?
Uh, there are some stuff that, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, like, the camera system that I'm currently looking at. I'm trying to get a grant for it, but we'll see, you know, if the federal government opens up anything where I can do that. And then I've got, radios that I'm having to replace. So, I've got a few that's gonna have to be phased out. And, so, I've got a quote on that. Motorola just emailed me, matter of fact, emailed me this morning with that quote, and I've not had a chance to look at it, but as far as any major expenditures, I don't see any.
And the radios we were gonna cycle over, you've been trying to cycle every couple of years, or every year. you've tried to
We've
do-
not, yeah, well, we've not replaced a radio in 3 years. I've got mobile units, I've got a couple of mobile units that are, if they do the over-the-air key upgrade, with JJ gone, I used to be able to keep up with that, but him gone now, I don't know, but I do know that it was in the works and plans for that to happen. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but then again, I don't know that either. If they do that, then I'll have to replace at least two radios immediately, mobile units, because they won't work anymore. They'll be obsolete completely.
Do you have a long-term budget to cover all those, or?
You what now?
I said, do you have a long-term budget lined out for all
No,
that, or?
I used to do that, but I've not done that in a while. It was useless before.
Yeah, I think now it would be a good thing. Did you start?
Well, I've started on
Yeah.
it, but, but in the past, it's been useless.
Yeah, so now you can start biting off chunks on that stuff without it costing us all at once.
On the camera system with the possible grant, is it something that, do you know yet if you have to have any kind of match for it? That needs to be
I won't have
budgeted?
any idea until it just depends on what type of grant that they open up for it, so I won't know. I know Axon they've got some kind of something that they're gonna propose, but I don't want anything to do with Axon, because I want to stay with the Motorola system that we already have, you know.
Just cost us more money in the long run.
Well, yes, it would.
Everybody good with the police? Okay, I also broke it down per month. Of course, this was all prior to deductions, so this isn't encompassing deductions. It won't be actually what's pulled out of the bank, but it's what we can expect in reference to our line items. I've also done for each one that has income and expenditures, I've done the total, so we're gonna predict that we're gonna go up substantially in '26 for the police income. This will also have to do with the shortage that we discussed. We had, several officers that went on field positions this year. And our expenditures has gone up by 78.24, which, with the bump in the pay, and some of the other things, I think we're looking pretty good, considering, just going up about 1% from 25 to 26. Moving on to the general. Okay, our fair share for 911 is actually staying pretty similar, it's just going up $120. For our transfers, this has to include everything that's transferred out. And this kind of falls back into what we were discussing earlier, John. Like, I'm trying to get us to our for 25, that $20,000 emergency building fund, trying to get us to where we get that this year, or 12,000, somewhere in there. So trying to make that rollover system that John was talking about for a lot of these things. I did go ahead and just drop the emergency building fund for 26 by 5,000, because I think if we start doing that, once again, we can start adding, having some cushion and then dropping those priorities in the following year. So I dropped that to 15, went ahead and kept Fall Sinclair at 20.
How much money have we not appropriated this year to them? I know last year they didn't get their 20,000 until the very end of the year.
So
Is that still the case? Because last year we didn't spend it, they didn't get it to the end of the year, and I questioned why are we giving it again, which is, how much is there that they have not been appropriated?
When I came in, there wasn't anything spent. Now, we've spent.
And I'm talking about giving it to them. Last year,
Gotcha.
last year, the city has not, here's what we approved.
Right.
Am I telling that right?
But they didn't get
Until the end of the year,
20,000.
they didn't get the 20,000 to the end of the year, so why did we do that 20,000?
Where, do you know where we're at on that?
I mean,
I know we had, you had your fundraiser for the car show.
I'm talking about the 20,000 that, I'm not talking about fundraiser, I'm talking about last year, when did the city last year get their 20,000? For the December. Why would, and where's it at as of right now,
They're at 36,000, I looked today.
for this year?
For this year, 36,000. But we've also spent around 10 grand out of there.
Okay, so they don't have any more money coming this year, is that correct?
Not that I'm
Paul
aware of.
Sinclair, I'm gonna look and ask again.
Right. Not that I'm aware of. I'll have to double check.
Let's double check,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
last year it was a sore subject, because we were asking for more money and we hadn't appropriated any money whatsoever to it.
Well,
I'm talking about last year, and who knows what the other previous years have been.
the previous years, we put the caps on it and we did all the brickwork. on
I'm
the
talking
back
about
of
the
it.
money appropriated to it.
Did that not come?
When
out
did you get,
unappropriated?
when did you get the 20,000 last year?
It didn't come in until we spent it.
Until December? That's what you just said, you didn't get 20,000 until the end of last year. So at that point, what's the,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and double check myself, when we wrote that check. But it was either at the end of November or the first of December.
I'll get a solid answer on
okay.
where we stand on that.
And we're trying for some grants at that first. This year, we're gonna do again. I really think we have a really good chance, of getting it, so. But we'll have to show that we've got the funds available.
We keep saying that every year.
I know. You want me to quit?
No, I don't want you to quit, I like you.
I can quit trying.
Don't quit trying,
Just,
I'm just letting you know what we keep getting told.
I know.
But don't
You think
quit.
you're not the only one frustrated?
I'll have a solid answer for the Fall Sinclair, how much of the 20,000 has been transferred by next Monday. So, gonna move down to the law library fees. That was what Tabby had discussed. That's what we have to budget, so that we know we're pulling that. I did the average of what we're paying per month right now. Our tech support, this is also encompassing our IT folks, right, Frank? Our tech supports our contractors.
How about ASO?
Technical support. We dropped it 1,000 below our IT annual fee.
Oh, okay, we're talking when we pay Brian.
Yes, okay, so this is our commercial inspector. This is who we use, Brian, also for some electrician work. Our fuel expense, we didn't get anywhere close to, so I'm gonna leave that. I dropped that down by 2,000. Health insurance, jumped substantial after I crunched the numbers, we're way off on that. So we're at 28,130 for the general.
Where are we at current year for health insurance, you know, for, instead of 18, what do we propose to spend for this year?
We have 4,860 left, and I have 2 months to pay, November, December.
So we're gonna need to do a,
I mean, we'll become very, very close.
okay, so we may need to do an appropriate, change budget, okay. So which one is ASI?
That is our 8,000, it's city IT, that's our annual there.
Okay, okay.
Did we drop the judge off? I guess I didn't put the judge on this one.
The judge, there was a 3,000 on the judge in the police
In
budget?
the police, and she should have been here as well, but I guess I can move that. I'll add that back on, but it'll zero out, but I'd like to show that that zeroes out. So I did, okay, so for our city cleanup, we had that under our community outreach program, but I'd like to separate those two. So I also think this past one that we did for fall, we only did a 2-day time frame, which cut our expenditure in like half, because it was like $5,000 in spring, and we did like 1,700, I think, is what we ended up paying this year. So I think if we just leave it at a 2-day time frame, that it worked out perfect. Okay, proof of publication, I went ahead and dropped that
What was
down.
the floodplain?
So we have, Miss Janet, Miss Janet, she covers most municipal, smaller municipalities, a hectare and over. We've also, I prefer not to take her off of the payroll until we get John or whoever our code enforcer is. We need to just look at getting them licensed in the floodplain part, but until we get that licensure, I prefer to just keep her on because she's very good to have. She's actually helped us with a couple things so far. Called her last week on a property off 64. She's been doing it a good minute, and she's really, really helpful.
Does it take a lot to get that certification? I'm just
Yes,
asking.
It does, it's a pretty, I'd say, he'd have to go through at least 4 different classes.
Is that his plan, though?
John,
Mhm.
he should be pretty close since he came from FEMA, so we might save some money there.
Okay.
But I'm also really trying, like right now, I'm trying to focus him on the code enforcement
Sure.
license, because there's a lot of legal aspects that he needs to be licensed in.
But overall, that's his long-term plan? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I was just asking to see if it was worth the investment for time and all.
I think it's a definite.
Okay.
We need to look at like how long-term that who's gonna be in that position is gonna be, so. But for where we're at right now, I think we behave us to keep it. Utilities, where are we at right now, Brian, for our utilities in the general? We dropped it down to 15.
We got 3,660 left.
some recognition for some of our kids, and really like to have the band come out and play at some of these events. So I'm presenting that we bump that up to 7,500, which during Halloween, thank you, Councilmember Schaefer, for saving us there with some candy. Because we bought a substantial amount of candy, but it didn't go too far. I think we were out in an hour and a half, so.
Yeah, it didn't go very far at all.
John saved us on that, so appreciate it.
So really, that's a $6,000 increase, is that right? Or 5,000? We're increasing it 2,500?
Yes, sir. But,
And the cleanup came out of that,
right, so we're.
so it's actually a $6,000 increase
That's
overall.
right, yes, sir. And then, of course, the retirements for Jerry Williams and Teeter will stay the same unless the council proposes an increase on that.
We do have to vote on that.
We have to in ordinance.
Well, you just have to vote on it.
We'll do that next month.
Yep.
Okay, just kind of across the board, done a small cost of living increase. Also, depending on the council's comment, will depend on the city clerk's salary.
The city clerk was voted for 20,000 even in 25, and it shows 20,600.
I think in our ordinance, I'm pretty sure our
Like
ordinance
at
was
22.
20,600.
Yeah. I just know the budget, the general fund for it says 20,000 for
Right.
last year, 25. Which I'm not against it, I'm just saying the numbers are different.
Drop her down.
Yeah.
And then that maxes him out.
Okay, so I owe the council, how much for the general, how much out of this year has been, in 2025, been transferred to the Fall Sinclair that we budgeted for this year. I'll have that answer by council on Monday.
Do what?
And the funds that we raise at the car shows,
I think
they
that's probably
stay
going
in
to be,
the Fall Sinclair fund.
Yes.
'Cause that's what the people put in for, and
yeah, water.
I end up,
80,000.
it's a significant amount that I pay for
Water.
myself for that show, so.
Yeah, all that money you gave me, make sure you do.
All right, moving on, the expenditures and income, the big increase in the parks, of course, is moving our folks back over to the parks, the income. So we're not seeing a huge jump on any of our income, but I did want to cover AOJ there at the bottom. So the AOJ, that will be the new one that Tabby had discussed with us. And then also the permit and parks fees. The huge difference, like minus 27,000, this is all gonna be it's really hard to predict how many businesses are gonna build in Knoxville. That's our commercial projects, is what that is. So the 36,583 from 25 was our school expenditure. That was the big junior high, middle school. So that's, I don't wanna guess us at too much, but we know of one that's coming. Just don't wanna bump us up too high on that. Which also I'm hoping with our new system that's being built, software, whenever these folks can do it all online, we'll start seeing an increase in revenue as well,
Is that the range?
especially through HVAC.
What?
So that also
Private club?
includes our current business permit.
And that he knew
Last
last
year,
year.
and then what's the parks fees?
Where is it, I'm sorry?
Is it permit slash parks?
Oh, it's
fees?
like when somebody reserves
Oh, I didn't
a
know.
baseball field or softball field,
We've done over there, around high school.
which that's something that we'll be discussing pretty soon with the PAA as well, for if we're gonna keep our contract the same with how we handle that time of year with them. All right, next slide. That's our breakdown by month. we had, municipal league legal defense, line item for 500, proposing to remove that. There's nothing, it should, we pay that out of the general, it's kind of double tapping there. Let's see. Equipment maintenance, Frank, can you let me know where we're at?
I have for equipment expense, it's 2,503, and equipment expense repairs is 11,649.
Right. That's the one I was looking for, the maintenance. So we're nowhere close to it, but we do foresee some repairs and things coming in the future, so I want to keep this kind of close to that, but also drop this a little bit.
So what's the equipment that's in the street fund as opposed to the water fund? Because we used for both, I mean,
The,
dump trucks in the street. And then the axles are split, they've got two of them, one's in the street, one's in the water. Backhoe, I do believe, is in the water. And the trucks are two in the street. The rest of the water. We've got all that on hand. If you want that information.
maybe sure we had it split out.
is that four-door street or what? Okay, health insurance, see a substantial drop there. That's due, we're pulling the parks out. I do have in here, I'm proposing that we add a laborer to the street, but also same thing with David Potts, he doesn't use the law of choice, so that saves us quite a bit on that. Stoplight expense, I increased this by 5,000 because we're looking at within the next month. I think they're hoping to hit it around break time, but the school stoplights, there's no, like, equipment's so old, we gotta replace it. Transformers, everything's so out of date that we're replacing all of it. So that's gonna be around $12,800, which I think our first quote was 20 grand a piece. So we did some digging and found a company out of Hot Springs that's gonna do it for $13,800. We're gonna order all the supplies ourselves, and we're just gonna pay them for the labor. So, also, I think we need to look at updating our line over Line 247, when we talked about that. There's a couple, some wiring that we need to update up there, so I crank that up a little bit so we can be prepared for 26, because most of it's gonna go, to our stop line. Okay, for the street paving expense, I really, I think that it's gonna be more. I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that we get that State Street aid grant to do a big one. I hope that with the sales tax that hopefully it passes and that we can see a lot more. I do want to keep it the same so we can kind of judge better, but that would be something that if we hit that threshold, then I'll propose an ordinance amended the budget and we'll continue to move forward. It's not that we're going to stop street paving, but.
We can't make a budget on money that's not guaranteed there.
Exactly. So I'm going to kind of keep that where it's at.
How much have we spent this year?
We are over,
Yeah.
we are over 33,689.
Did we do a line item? Do we vote to change that? Approve to go over? We went over budget, so did we vote to approve going over?
No,
So how did we spend over?
Whenever Randy had the,
at what?
chip seal, all the
In
chip
front
seal
of Red
patches
Road.
that Randy had done, the long distance out here, and, I can't remember where they're all at, the subdivisions.
It's like $40,000 bill,
It was like 30,000 for that one.
40,000.
So that should have been approved.
Right. Something that we're changing.
How do you normally address, I mean,
So, I mean, whenever we do that, typically, we need to, the law reads from time to time, but I think every city goes over budget. We'll propose an amendment to the budget, and if we don't have those funds available out of that, we'd have to do also a line item transfer during a regular council meeting. So, that's something that we'll definitely be doing moving forward.
Do we have any others that went over?
You have anybody else that went over?
Yeah, other than the street paving, do you know?
Just a little, I mean, just minor. Like you went over in clothing, but, you know, that's stuff that we can do a line transfer very easily.
as a council, as a council, right?
is
So
it-
did we do one for his clothing?
Or is he gone over yet?
Because normally we do our round transfers at the end of the year, we do it December. When we do it.
Wow. Is that normal?
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, why do you wait until after you've gone over? To me, that's asking for forgiveness and permission. Can we not do that in the future? Can
Oh,
we
yeah.
change our policy on that?
That's definitely what we're gonna do moving forward.
I'd like a breakdown between now and Monday of what we've gone over. For what, and I'm talking about all departments, just to get an idea on it. And I'm talking about, I either want it expected to, what we're proposing to go over, because obviously we've got more time left in the year, or where we're at this time as opposed to last year.
Last year.
Because I'm gonna say that hasn't been much of a topic, but I bet it's a bigger problem than what's on these papers.
But you tried to take that into consideration, right, Dusty, when you looked at these, as to where we are currently? I just want to make
What
sure
should we
it's not
spend on-
something we need to get that information from.
How much should we spend on
Yeah.
street maintenance?
Yeah.
I think he's comparing
The
apples
budget
to
is
apples.
60, you got 19,337 left. Your street maintenance.
How much left, Fran, I'm sorry?
Okay, the street maintenance, $19,373 left. In your street maintenance.
Okay, tools,
Mayor, do we have any more, can we find any more funds to put in with the street paving?
street paving, that's where I was saying, it's kind of hard to predict. But I mean, I think that we can. I was just trying to keep it the same, and then over 26, I feel like we'll have a much better idea for 27. So that's where I was presenting to keep that the same and see where we're at next year. And then if we hit our $100,000 mark, that's where we do our line item amendment to our budget.
I drive Sweden Road every day. This alligator, when we get frost, freezing weather, we're gonna have problems.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna pop that pavement and it'll be, but worse than Pisgah was.
Yes, sir.
So it needs, at minimum, needs sealing.
Right.
At minimum.
Would you have the whole road sealed, or just like the cracks?
It's almost the whole darn road.
There's a lot of roads in Pottsville in the same condition that Steve's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just been neglect over the years.
But we have big trucks going down it, not necessarily are they loaded, but they're still 20, 30,000 pounds going down there.
Shouldn't be any This 100,000, that include our state money that we get yearly?
That, is included on our next slide, but no, that doesn't count this yet.
So we still have more money to spend on street improvement.
Kind of. This is where I'm hopeful, this is also why I wanted to do our ordinance that we just passed in reference to the right-of-way, because all that money will be turned back into the street. Because we're super limited on what we get in the street and what we're allowed to spend in the street. So our whole street is operating off of our state turnback. So it's a really small budget to play with. Because I think, on average, I did the math, I believe we get roughly $20,000 from the state. And then.
A month, right? A month?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How much of that have we spent this year?
I'd have to crunch that. Can you see total what we spent in the street this year?
For road improvements.
Oh, for the road, I can get that for you next, for Monday,
Yeah.
for the road. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that. But I'm hoping.
So the 100,000 is not part of our turnback money that we get. Okay.
Acres changed just a little bit, well, that depended on next conversation. I'll jump into it. I've got a small increase there, and that's where I'm proposing a new, street laborer. So these numbers, of course, will change if the council's opposed to adding a new position to our street department. I mean, our public works team's got pretty thin, as it is, and I believe with the way that we moved, some folks and got it going right, I think that it will be, very crucial to the city's success in the future.
So street labor would be things like mowing, putting out,
Painting, mowing,
patching
I mean,
holes.
honestly, our public works guys do everything.
Pretty much be doing,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not a split.
We don't have the split mentality that your street, your water, you're all public works, we're all.
Just how it gets divided up, I understand. Yeah.
Just on the lines, it'll reach street labor.
Okay.
They'll be.
For an expense side of it.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just asking the question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, like in the wintertime, when there's not the streets to be mowed, you know, the ditches and all that, is there's enough to, okay.
They'll stay very busy. Moving on to the next slide, got the breakdown by month and school.
What did we pull the uniforms off there? They go in the general, or
I'm sorry?
the uniforms got removed? Is that moving over the general, or what's the,
Water.
Uniform.
Comes out of water.
okay.
County revenue, for the street, I don't see it going up too much. I think for the last 3 years, on average, it jumps about $2,000. So I tried to predict that the best that I could there. Is it on the water? You got it up quicker. Okay. First big jump, at our IT expense, that was calculated roughly, including their annual and also with our new servers, I think we'll,
You said jump.
or I mean decrease, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm thinking backwards here. So we over accounted for last year on that.
So the cost on the server, because remember previous one, they said something about us using one server and most don't do like that.
Right.
you ask about whether would two servers be better and would that be cheaper?
We
or
have
not?
two or three. I think we have one for the police and courtside,
Okay.
and then we have one for us. for
So
the
we're just
city.
having to replace the one?
Yeah, and they're on like a 5 to 7 year period
Okay.
lifespan,
Okay.
is what it is, and we keep failing our monthly test, but he
On
said,
the one?
I had a meeting, yeah,
Okay.
I had a meeting with, Will from ASI, and he broke it down for me, and, he said that we would be fine until like March or April of next year.
And then the other two that we have, are we having any kind of problems with them, or they're newer? So we're, okay.
There's actually another one too, that's the camera system.
Yeah,
That's a totally separate service.
yeah, that's what feeds y'all's light. The health insurance is a substantial jump, but that was from just this year, doing the numbers on that. So it's actually where we need to be, it's where we'll stay at.
What's the lab fees?
That's for if we have like, it's monthly, and then if we also have a precautionary boil or something, if we have a big leak, then we have to send it off to the lab prior to, which we pretty much spend that, don't we? We're pretty close this year.
So, such a increase for health insurance, where we at this year for it? That's a big increase.
On the health insurance,
And water,
when we did our health insurance last year, we put everybody back in the proper areas. Because they were all over the place. So everybody that was supposed to be in the water is in the water, some of them in the street, so you got more in your water than you did your street now.
All right, so where we at this year?
So we
Water.
so since we got it fixed, we are over $4,668. But they were not in the proper places,
All right, so 4,000, roughly.
yes.
All right.
But we still spent over what we was approved to spend.
Because
Yeah.
they were not all in.
Yeah, but it's still, you line item and vote on it, it's gotta be.
And is that 4,000 expected by the end of the year, or just 4,000 over right now, we still have the rest of the year to go?
We still got 2 months
Rest.
to go.
So it'll be more than.
Yeah, it's,
So we need to do an amendment for that by next meeting.
yeah, we're gonna have several.
I think we gotta look through it, just to know where we're at.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. That's how I did it. I broke it down
It's-
by month and really hand-jammed it.
and just to see what we're gonna be over
Yeah.
and ask why.
Right.
It's gonna be a long meeting.
Maybe for snacks.
Yeah, you might need to. We've got.
Where's that
we've already
Dollar
got a
General
lot
fund at?
on our own. Papers, same concept. We're way off our number there.
On what, on what?
Papers on the retirement.
Where we at?
So that one we're over 2 already?
We're, if we're not, we're pretty close. Where we at,
What?
papers, for water?
Yeah.
Or 30 or 20 or whatever it was.
I'm gonna have to look at that one. Because I think something's wrong, because it says we're over 14,000, but that one's not right.
On what?
On the retirement.
You can have it by Monday.
Sewer system bid. Help me out with that one, please.
Is your system that? This is what we gotta have, just in case, we gotta show we have that money to get that sewer plant back up and running. If we have a natural disaster,
I
we'll
was-
lock down.
Yeah, I was blanking on that line item.
That's what that is.
I pushed that up, because we're already
Over.
well over that, but I mean, keep adding to it because it's an expensive piece of equipment. Well, same thing with our water.
Does that need to be
So
one
that's
that inherits money?
What's that?
Is that one that needs to build a balance?
Yes.
So I was gonna say, so that's our, like an emergency fund.
Yes.
So if,
We're well over emergency fund.
yeah. And if we keep building it and eventually have to replace part of it, could we use part of it towards, okay.
That's the point, is if I'm predicting right, as long as nothing substantial happens, just by the vote alone, will be at approximately half, about 500,000. Okay, so the revenue bond, was previously titled as meter loan. I had that one highlighted because I hadn't got it back from Citizens Bank yet. But our new payment has gone down about $100, so it's like $18,346. So our total, I think it was $221.50. So I'm gonna budget that, I'll have it fixed for y'all by next meeting, $220,200 is what I'm gonna put on.
Which water meters are these?
These old ones?
This was an installation of the old one, this was combined with the meters, the old meters, the installation of the meters, a Simmons Bank loan that was wrapped into this revenue.
This is
line.
the old Badger meters.
Yes.
How much longer do we have left to pay on them?
When he consolidated the meter.
How much longer are we paying on those
Water
meters?
and sewer loans.
That whole entire revenue bond,
So
I
this
think we
one
have
here.
until 2035.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
So we still owe
Substantial amount.
over $2 million on this?
It was right at $3 million revenue bond when we did it in 2021.
That's for the sewer plant, right, Frank? Am I right? For the plant and the consolidated?
Yeah, it was a big,
It's for what was left over on the plant and the overheaters.
Yeah.
So
I
what,
remember sitting in the meeting when these last meters was presented to the council. I wasn't on council at that time, but the council was told, oh, we've paid for the old meters. Those are paid for, but we're still paying.
we've reached out to a guy out of Texas.
I've reached out to people
We've got,
trying to sell them.
yeah. They ain't got a good name. They've been in several.
Yeah, I know, I'm
lawsuits.
just saying.
Yeah.
They're not paid.
John's just getting, I think what he's trying to say is we've been told something that wasn't factual.
Right.
so is anyone getting anywhere with their lawsuits against them?
I've had, me and Jacob both have reached out and tried to get some stuff going, but it's not looking too favorable with the Badger.
Do you know, out of this 2.2, 2.3 million we owe, how much of it is water meters?
I don't have that. I don't even know that our revenue bond breaks it down, because it was all just
Just
consolidated.
consolidated. We don't know how much of that consolidation was that.
There would
Right.
have been a resolution though, wouldn't there been to do the bond and combine it?
It's all attached to.
There's been a
our
lot of
revenue
things
bond.
looking at this budget.
It's like a 500-page thing, and I've been through it many times, but it's just wrapped all of it into one. Like, I don't have anything breaking down. I've been through it.
I was just thinking that, didn't the council would have been to voted on it?
We can look and look back to see.
I don't think there is.
2021, that was the second time it refi. It was originally done in 2018. The meters and everything was presented for a little over $600,000 to the city to purchase for the entire system.
Sounds about right.
That was,
And was that the,
Then it was combined and refinanced.
right, in the revenue bond?
In the revenue.
And the 600,000 was the Simmons Bank loan
That
originally?
was the loan
Yeah.
originally for the Badger meters and the system to do that and the installation.
So most of that is sewer plant.
Hang 'em all look.
That's still
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah, we'll try to. get that-
Unaccounted for money.
Try to break that down the best that we can. Yeah, it's that revenue part. Yeah. Sewer expansion, I know previous years haven't gone as planned, but I do plan to start doing some sewer expansion.
How much of this have we spent this year?
On the sewer expansion, you had 80 and you're at 76,057.
This will also, depending on Monday, Justin's supposed to be here. I spoke with him, so this might be,
Let's say we've got $70,000 to spend this year, we allocate it to something.
it's probably gonna be Highway 64 plus next year. Just looking on and hearing, I mean, from what I'm looking at, it's probably gonna be our 64 project if we move forward that route.
Because if we go anywhere south on River Road, it's gonna cost a whole lot, because we're gonna have, it's gonna be monumental.
Millions.
Okay.
Okay, so our water tank, the big drop on that is in the contract, once we hit year 6, which will be 26, that we drop substantially. It was like 46,000, for our first 5 years, and then on the 6-year anniversary date, we go to the 20. It's actually 19.8 something, but I left us at 20. So we'll
It's a payment for it, or the service plan, or?
it's our water tank, they'll come out, they'll inspect it, they'll service it. They'll come out quarterly, is it quarterly or twice a year? Twice a year, they'll come out and, yeah.
Just saying, is this just for service plan, or do we own that tank already, or?
We own the tank.
This is just for maintenance.
Okay.
And
It
the,
is required by the state.
and the
Yeah,
maintenance
yeah,
covered,
605.
I didn't know if the tank was wrapped up in that big old bond too.
but the maintenance service stays at the same level, we're not losing any
Right,
service
right.
level.
You're not losing any service.
Yeah,
It's just that
it's like,
they would have identified any
Yeah.
big issues that they would have had to fix by now, and so, okay.
it's like a goodwill,
Gotcha.
since we stuck with them, so
It was 46,000, I can't remember, when it was on the contract,
2020.
they rebanded it, redone the whole thing. Stand behind the work more or less.
Will it include future paint jobs at that price, or when they get to that point, will
We'll
it?
have to read that contract.
The maintenance, they had a bank, do some bank on it, this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's the whole thing, but.
Yeah, they probably have some cost sharing.
But it wouldn't be as much as 26,000, shouldn't be.
Might be.
I mean, I'm just, need to find out.
After that River Road tank job today, I don't know. It might be. Once again, I tried to give everybody where I seem fit, cost of living increase. Heath, I believe he deserves to be there. He's running 2 departments and doing a heck of a job. And I put Jason and Brett were always kind of, those positions, they were kind of deep receipt, like, you'll see the sales tax, if it comes in, all come in through DFA to the general. I have to report that, transfer them out, and then also as an income on this, so it's kind of double tapping, but it washes in the general, and then you'll see the actual revenue here, and then the fire department. I'm predicting a pretty, it's the best that I think I could do, but I'm predicting a little bit higher next year, especially with some of the businesses that we have coming in. Brand, oh, go ahead.
The CDs, okay, you said you can't figure out where they came from. Is that for the water, or is that water and sewer?
Water and sewer, but we haven't titled those.
So there's $93,000 in that CD?
60-something and 130-something, other, it's like 62 and 31.
And they just haven't been reported before, or?
Not that I could find.
I think those are one that's, Mayor Duval set up to have as emergency fund.
Right, I'm just saying that, why weren't they
We just haven't.
been reported on? Did we not know they were there? Do we have a plan for
Yeah,
them? I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, and this is just my opinion, I think that we lean on those kind of heavy for, whatever 64s to bring. I would hate to see our emergency and sales revenue for our water and sewer get depleted on the project.
What kind of interest rate have we got on that CD? I mean, we're making anything on it?
I couldn't tell you, I can figure that out.
There,
Yes, sir.
you ain't making nothing.
I ain't making nothing.
You look at it, you look at what they're giving us 4.25% interest.
Right.
And we got 3-4% inflation. And then, for a normal person, I don't know about the city, but then you got their taxes on your income, your interest.
Right.
So you're not making anything.
Yeah.
It needs to go better in interest or to a place that will do the best good.
I wonder when it, comes up for renewal.
End of the year? When does our CD renew?
We'll look at them next year.
Next year? Like January or? So does the council wanna,
You talking about 26, 27,
26?
26?
Do we wanna move that into our operation and maintenance? Do we wanna move that into our, once it's sales fund? That's a council choice, that's,
Whatever would help that need it the most.
It's not doing us any good just sitting where it's
I,
at.
I think we can move it into our once it sales. I mean, that's kind of our emergency where we're building, and if we're gonna look at it as okay, we can rely on these for this expansion, or we can rely on this as part of our emergency fund, we move it into that, close the CD. But I'll leave that to, I mean, I guess we can have a formal vote on that.
Yeah. I like to see utility expansion or road improvement.
Right,
That's our two worst.
right, I agree.
Where can we put it that would help our infrastructure to get more retail buildings, businesses in here to bring us more? That's what we're hurting. Have the infrastructure.
64. I think
If we use that 76 plus the 80.
Well, we can either do it there, but we also have obligations to the citizens to improve roads and water. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not gonna be a wrong decision, but who deserves the money first?
Well, the money you got in the CD and the money you still got sitting in your expansion for 2025 year, you've got $160,000.
It'd be 249,000 total.
Yeah.
If you added it all, that'd be a heck of an
I mean,
expansion
just-
project.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be touching 80,000 of next year's
Right.
spend. Or if you spend, you could do some major expansions, especially if you were doing next year's expansion budget too. Spend
Right.
$240,000 instead of just doing little chunks, you can probably get a lot more done.
So would the council like to see me present where we redirect these CD funds to?
Yes, I'd like to see an expansion. If we go down 64, we can get our grocery store, we can get Brandon in here, we can get all this stuff.
I guess what we'll do, actually, is, since we can't, can we touch that? Can we
Not
move
till
it down?
January.
You get penalized.
Or do we wanna wait until January, leave it?
We can make decisions knowing it's coming up
Right.
and then do
So I'll leave the line item, and then I'll say, depending on that, we'll move these funds.
Because it probably would we not need to have like a resolution or at least a
Yeah.
discussion to
Yes.
pull it out to
Yes.
begin with?
Yeah, we'll do an amendment to our budget at the beginning of the year. We'll do
When,
it,
before it comes
Yeah.
up time to pull them out?
we'll do an
Okay.
ordinance.
We
and
can go ahead and vote on it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll write that down.
Wait and see when it's up.
Yeah.
Do you have to take a copy of the minutes that Fran, when you pull it out, and then that'll be done if we go ahead and, okay.
Oranges, dumps it back.
Super radio, other than those, I wanted to hit on that. Okay, I'll do some number crunching.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
You know, we have a lot of line items we haven't used all of our budget. Let's use the expansion, 80,000. We have $76,000. That rolled over. We didn't spend that 76. Where does that 76 go in line of next year's budget?
I can speak for moving forward. Previously, just because it was there doesn't mean it was there. Just because we were budgeted for it doesn't mean that we have the 76,000 to move. I know what we can do to move forward, but
We have the 76,000 right now. I'm saying if we don't spend it and it goes into next year,
we don't have 76,000.
yeah, should.
Yeah, correct. But we should be able to look at that. And I believe like with certain, especially when we look at that, especially when we look at emergency building funds and those kind of things, aside from day-to-day operations, big expenses, yeah, we should be able to roll that into a fund and say, okay, well, we carried over this much.
Yeah. I was saying, are we factoring our income for next year's budget? Is your income reflecting the unspent money of the year before?
I mean, it's hard to do when it's not there.
I know,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, we're budgeting for
right,
X amount of money,
right.
and we only spend 40% of it. Is that extra that you should be left with?
It should be included
Does it-
with our balance on hand,
Yeah.
right, but.
Where
That's
did it
not-
go?
Was it rolled over back to the general fund at the end of the year in previous years?
Water operation maintenance had its own fund.
Where did it go? All right, different conversation.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a printout on basically every line here, what we've spent year to date.
Overage and shortages, right?
Huh?
Yes.
The overage and shortage.
yes.
Right. I know that's a tall order, but I think it's important to get things right moving forward.
I agree. We'll discuss a lot of that on Monday.
Right.
Well, we gotta know where we're at.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of it, and why are we here? I thought we had talked about that a little bit ago, going over every overage, didn't we? Having every, not just one department, but every overage.
Which line, the
I
lines?
think it also, we need to know every shortage, what did we not spend money on, where's money at?
I agree.
Did our projected income for last year match our actual income?
Let's see, can you tell me from your last year what it was
They projected 2.129.
out of the water?
general?
We'll need that.
I don't have last year's water with me, so.
Tried to make it 2.129, you said?
Yeah.
Last year, from what I gathered, it was 1.998372.
For 2025. It's about $130,000
Of income.
short. What about on water? Would we, I don't have those numbers, but
I didn't bring the one that was presented last year, but I'm putting us at total income for last year, 1.66417, or 167. And then next year, 1.7975.
I don't think I have that in it either.
which
But
one?
I didn't know if we had that in an email.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the one that was presented last year. I just tried to go off of where I knew we were at.
Jen, did you think it might have gotten an email or not?
I'm looking, I don't remember getting that, cause last year we printed, possibly. Nope. Don't
We
have it.
probably wouldn't got no budgets in the email.
Mm-mm.
Do you have last year's general and water?
I have it in my office.
Can you grab it real quick?
At least here, look, me, got it.
Oh, I think he has it.
Got last year's budget.
Nope, this is 2022's budget.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. 21, 25. Huh?
Mine comes up with the budgets that we do at school. Cause we do budgeting at school. That doesn't help me.
This would've been last year. Was it? Last year.
That's just the.
Last year was that?
Mine is 200,000, 400 and something thousand short.
Our budget, about that one.
2022.
Oh, you got better eyes.
We can jump forward, last one's
Does this
fire.
say approval as proposed?
Chief Perry didn't have too much. I have to ask Fran, I know that the changes that you see, is the
No,
ones
that's-
that he told me to do. But the firefighter, the one that I'm removing, they have petty cash on there, so he said they didn't need it. Remove that. Not a substantial change. Big one, if you switch over to the next slide.
On the,
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to jump ahead, but on the new truck expense, is this something we'd want to think about for future? Needing a new truck, adding something to that, where it's there when we need it?
Yeah, that may have been my bad. I think I added to that, and I was waiting to see how much he wanted to do per year. So
Okay,
that's-
I was just
yeah,
thinking,
that's my
just
fault.
make a savings fund
Yes,
out of it for
yes.
when it's,
I put it in there, but I think he gave me the number, and I
Okay.
that's my bad. I'm sorry about that.
and there again, do we have anything sitting there now? Just to plan ahead,
Yeah.
instead
yeah.
of,
That's kind of what my thought process, and I didn't even catch that. Thank you. I'll
I'm here for
fix
you.
that. Thank you, sir.
Doesn't have it. What got sent? No, it's just the general fund.
Would you set that to?
See if Randy got, I think Randy would send it.
Maybe that's
Chief.
updated ones,
Chief.
maybe.
John.
Richard,
Dozed off over there.
he's in La La Land. New vehicles, because we've been doing like approving 2 a year, because that was, on your budget, are you gonna be looking for new vehicles next year?
Yeah, that's it, there's general.
There's a possibility of having to replace it.
Updated after we discussed it.
Okay, so we'll come back and amend this if that happens.
Where would that money come from?
That's dates.
That's not, that comes out of the purchase fund, and comes out of the, critical care.
So that's not part of what we,
Okay.
And all of my vehicles are all of my cars come out of that,
That's our 64,585 is where we're at.
how much is in that?
64,585.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's 64,585. That's where we're
Okay.
projected to be. My bad, I'm sorry. We're at 59,766. Right.
Where's the money built in that fund at?
That's from our,
Do what?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Warrant fees, and no insurance fees,
You generally, okay, what's the income of that year, usually a year? How much money do you normally put into that a year?
it was, what I gather is like 4,000 to 5,000. It wasn't a substantial amount.
You're gonna be drained with one more vehicle.
Can you see, I didn't even look at our projected income. I'll give you the line right there. Yeah. We're projected at 1.86.
Well, how come this is different than the ones given to the council?
Save it and come back.
And I've got you where we're actually at.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not what was.
Not what's proposed,
Except
but what we're
Walmart and
actually at, based on.
These are huge differences, just balance on hand. For both years.
What's the differences?
$200,000, $100,000 a year.
That we were short?
Well, just our projected income of 5 was almost $300,000 short.
This is last year's.
So compared to that, John, does it look like we're on track for what we're budgeting for next year? Or can you tell?
Yeah, 148
I just had the water, is that what you're looking at, water?
general, or water. My bad.
You're looking at water, okay.
That's what we just looked at.
Yeah.
Same thing, this is,
So we're a lot
That's all we got.
closer.
Just, that's why that's so different.
Yeah, I was like,
unless,
so this is,
maybe this.
We don't have that
Doing
projected.
acres and numbers.
This is 23 to 24 on the general. Do we have a 24, 25 on general?
They didn't type anything in.
Okay.
That was when I was working on it.
okay, so water, what did they say that we're looking at projected?
That's the actual.
Gotcha.
Does the, on the proof of publication, we dropped $1,000 down to zero? Is that just because we're not,
Working in a whole lot that we'll have to spend out of there.
That's a huge difference.
I mean, our biggest expense is gonna be what we're getting ready for next year, but we're gonna spend it this year for the special.
So they're over projecting.
were we supposed to talk about that?
I'm gonna bring it up. It's just.
Shouldn't the water user has to do something with all of the,
Yeah, we kept it for water.
Yeah, sounds good. 5 minutes.
So take that money out and then add it back in, look,
I'm only joking.
Now, next Monday,
but it says it's here.
make sure you bring your hat.
Took it out, so it's there.
Well, we also need to have
bankrupt if I ran my budget like this.
Yeah.
Oh, for the city clerk? That would be something that the council.
I thought it was 22. That's what I've had in my mind.
That will have to be, we
not?
legally can't. It'll have to be the council's discussion and decision, and then we can prep an ordinance.
Well, that's what I mean, I was trying to figure out, because we weren't sure about what it was right
It's
now.
completely up to her.
So, but we.
Only how much money you got?
We need to find out exactly what is right now, though.
It's 26. I mean, 20,600.
20,600, okay.
But I know for a fact that I looked at that ordinance before I did this. It
Okay.
was 20,600.
20,006, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't cause confusion.
No, that's fine. I confused myself.
Okay.
Any more closing comments? I owe the council on Monday, breakdown, where we've gone over each line item, where we're short. Flip through my notes real quick. Where I propose to send the CD account money to. As of yeah, oh, I need to fix the workers' comp on these. We need to do an amendment on the, line items that we're over on. So, if it's okay with the council, I will, bring an amendment as a whole, how we have done it years prior. Moving forward, we will always present it in the council meeting prior to spending any funds. It will be an amendment, line item transfer ordinance at the time of that.
Yeah, it needs to be
It will not
done
be-
before you spend
Yes,
over.
exactly. But for this
Right.
previous year's purposes and where we're at right now, I'll bring everything that we're at as a whole.
Yeah, because prior reasoning of that is what if we deny it, you've already,
Right, exactly. Well, it's municipal law,
Yeah.
so we gotta do it that way.
Will we be able to do enough to get us through the rest of the year? Or, okay, that's what the proposal will be.
And then I need to get back with Chief Perry to figure out that new truck expense. I know I added that, and I didn't put that, and I'll have all that ready for next Monday. Okay. Any other discussion? No? Okay, and for just closing a little bit, we did talk about potentially holding a special meeting on the 0.5%. I'll hit it again for the formal period next Monday, but I do intend to table that and allow Chief Perry and Chief Pritchard more time to come up with their master plan and ensure that we do everything proper and that we're not harming any department. Give us more time to kind of move forward with that. So we could have some more presentations and some stuff put together so we make an accurate decision whether to take it to the ballot or not.
And have guidance set up for future people who hold these meetings.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What is ballot going to say?
For the one that we did vote on,
Another one that want to set the special election for, with the taxpayers and voters, when they see taxes, they're going to be, you know, is it going to affect this half cent that we've already got coming to the fire department? Is it going to affect it in any form? They can't take it away from us.
no, sir.
But on the other hand, are we pushing our luck? When did this half cent sales tax,
2008.
2008? The citizens of Possible voted for this. Now, are we overstretching our bounds as a council members, saying that's not good enough, we're gonna slap them in the face?
I don't, and this is just, I mean, this is a good conversation to have. Also want to have town halls in reference to this. I don't feel as if it's a slap in the face. It says, we've grown substantially in 20 years. We've grown substantially in 30 years. Sustain and growth in our fire there is a clear Arkansas code annotated X, Y, and Z. I don't have it, but when I did all this, when me and Jacob were going through this, we clearly followed per municipal law and state level attorney's guidance in the wording of it to where it's the broadening side, not a new proposal of a new tax. It's just this and this is very common term, so excuse me, but this is how the 0.5% is in the city of Pottsville. You're either for broadening to encompass emergency services, or for the one that we do have approved, it will be you're for expanding the use of the already existing 1% tax to encompass water and sewer department, streets drainage, and general operating procedures, or against all that.
Now, you're talking about the 1 cent sales tax.
Yeah, and the same.
Because that's what you're referring to.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Because I don't have the actual, like, the election commission, you know, we pass our ordinance, and it's pretty close to that, but then they also tweak it, the verbiage for the ballot, which I've gotten for the 1%, but that's why I'm just asking we table and make sure we make a good decision for the 0.5%.
I think that the chief and the fire chief, they need to set priorities, so when John's gone, we don't have any of this problem, and he said, no, this isn't right, I want that money.
Yes, sir.
We just don't need to have that argument.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be done, fixed the way it should be.
Yes, sir.
And
And that's the same conversation, I'll agree with you on, just with our 1 cent that we talked about last meeting.
We have to put savings in place after, if
Yeah.
it passes, that we do.
But for the 1 cent, people just needs proper explanation. It's not the millage isn't getting increased, except for about 30 years.
Yeah.
It's not going up, but it got extended, same conversation.
it's got to educate the voters, because when they say taxes,
It's no.
Right.
Well, if they vote no, we just stay the way we've been and keep rolling, you know.
And that's a safe bet for them, is they're in that mentality.
It's-
Well, vote no.
Right. I hope to have, and this is for the 1 cent, since the holidays and everything, and we're doing our budgets. My intent, I'll get with the council, but is to have a town hall in January and in February leading up to the March vote, so that we can, you know, I've got some flyers roughly made, to try to get it out there that it's not a raise. It is just very pertinent that if we want to do what we need to do in Pottsville, that we do this, and it's just getting that off, you know.
The 1 cent.
The 1 cent, yes. Yeah. But the 0.5%, you know, that's, I think it's best we table it. We let the chiefs discuss amongst themselves, come up with their master plan. We revisit it, maybe have a special meeting to go over that long-range plan.
It may not be needed.
And it may
You know,
not
the
be
1 cent may
Right.
cure everything.
Right. That general operating procedures encompasses
I think our
department heads.
budget actually being followed and managed is gonna fix some of our expenses, probably on the police side.
So, just wanted to bring that up for the public when we put this out. We're gonna table it. We'll approach it when we have a better picture of what the future looks like. And then with the 1 cent, you know, we will be sure if it does pass that there will be safety procedures put in place, ordinances put in place, so that we make the best interests for the city. So. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second,